Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please take your seats. Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cadet Lance Kreitzer, and I'll be the Master of Ceremony for today's ceremony. On behalf of Lieutenant Colonel Regina Purnell Adams, Detachment 155 Commander, and the entire detachment staff, we welcome you to Detachment 155's Spring Commissioning Ceremony for the Class of 2024. We appreciate everyone taking the time to join us here today. In order to maintain the integrity of today's ceremony, we ask that at this time, all cell phones either be turned off or silenced. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please stand for the entrance of the official party. The official party consists of Detachment 155 Cadre, commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Regina Purnell Adams, and special guest, Major General Charles Jeffries, retired United States Air Force. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the presentation of the colors and the singing of the national anthem. Color Guard, post the colors.
Present. Arms.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Arms. Post. Colors. Close time. Arch.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for a moment of silence as we remember those who have fallen in defense of our great nation. Please bow your heads as I provide today's invocation. Dear Heavenly Father, we pray for the men and women of the armed forces of the United States of America who are in harm's way in all parts of the world. We thank them for their sacrifices. We are grateful for the ultimate price of freedom paid by those fallen. We pray for strength and courage for the prisoners of war, those missing in action, those held hostage, and those currently serving. We also remember the families of our troops and ask for your unique blessings to fill their homes and your peace, provision, strength to fill their lives. Lord, bless the troops who are currently deployed and protect them as they protect us. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Air Force Reserve Officer Training Corps is one of the 3 commissioning programs of the United States Air Force, alongside the United States Air Force Academy and Officer Training School. This rigorous 4-year program prepares individuals for the technical, physical, mental, and professional requirements of commissioned service. Under the supervision of Air Education and Training Command, ROTC's mission is to recruit, select, train, retain, and commission United States Air Force officer candidates. Shortly, these cadets will be sworn in as officers in the world's greatest Air Force. They will cross another milestone in their lives and add their names to the long list of officers who have proudly served our country. Since 1789, when our first President and Commander-in-Chief, George Washington, took office, every President and Armed Forces officer has taken the oath, committing themselves to our nation and our Constitution. The oath is a promise to our nation that the officers are prepared to take any lawful action necessary to keep our country free. A commission is only given to those who deserve and have earned it. It signifies that the officer has proven he or she is worthy to enter the profession of arms, a profession dedicated to leading American fighting forces in defense of our free nation. As these cadets recite the oath of office and accept their duties, please remember the commitment that they are making to serve us and the rest of our great nation. To begin today's events, we have the distinct honor of hearing from retired Major General Charles Jeffries. General Jeffries commissioned through ROTC at the University of Miami in 1991. He has a diverse background in the Air Force. He specialized in software development for airborne command systems and served as Deputy Chief of Requirements for the Air Force Satellite Control Network. In his last assignment, he served as the National Guard Assistant to the Commander of U.S. Cyber Command, and the Director of the National Security Agency.
Awesome, thank you. Good morning, everybody. And it is so cool to be back at the U. I can't even tell you. And what an exciting day for you all and your families. I'm going to try to do my best with this outstanding group of folks sitting up here. I do have some written remarks. I'm going to try not to make it boring. I just want to make sure I don't miss anything. But with that, let me start by just saying it's a tremendous honor to join you all here today as we celebrate the University of Miami Detachment 155 2024 commissioning ceremony. Please join me in congratulating these 8 amazing soon-to-be second lieutenants in the United States Air Force. It truly is a momentous occasion, not just for the graduates, but for your families, friends, the detachment, and the entire nation. I'd like to give special thanks to the cadets and the cadre who invited me here today to be part of this special day for you and your families. And what an incredible group of families we have gathered here today, which will prove to be one of the most memorable in the lives of these future Air Force officers. And that future is just a mere minutes from now. Today we commend the dedication, sacrifice, unwavering commitment that each graduate has demonstrated on their journey to this first milestone in their active duty Air Force career. As each of them embark on their new lives, it's important to recognize the unique role the United States Air Force plays in our nation's defense and security. From defending our skies to providing humanitarian aid around the globe, the Air Force embodies the values of service, excellence, and integrity. Each graduate here today has embraced these values wholeheartedly, dedicating themselves to a cause greater than themselves. Each of them has undergone rigorous training, faced daunting challenges, and demonstrated remarkable resilience in pursuit of these goals. For the 2024 commissioning class of Detachment 155, we have a great representation of Air Force and Space Force specialties our new LTs will be going off to. We have some pilots, logistics officers, finance, force support. One's going to the Air Force Institute of Technology to continue their master's degree, and one is going to the Space Force. Did I miss any? I got everybody? All right, I'm on track. So you might be thinking what your journey into this new life is going to look like. Well, when I left UM in May after commissioning in '91, I didn't even know what my career field or my duty location was going to be. So if you know that, you're ahead of where I was. So after I returned home to Seattle, I received a call later in the summer from the Air Force Personnel Center, and I was asked the following question: would I like to pick my AFSC or my duty location? So here's what I said. I asked, well, if I say AFSC, will you tell me what base I'm going to? The answer from the crusty sergeant, no. Like, that is not helpful. Unwisely, I chose the job, AFSC. The sergeant on the other end of the line said they'd be sending me my orders and my reporting instructions in the mail. I'm like, can I have a hint? No. So a very long few weeks later, I found out where I was headed, Offutt Air Force Base, Nebraska. It's not so bad in September and October at Offutt, but February, not so great. So I shared with some of the cadets that I really didn't realize how much I would miss the U and Coral Gables until I was sitting in Omaha in January. So keep that in mind. I know it's going to happen. So I solicited input from the cadets on what they'd like me to talk about during my remarks, and what follows is what they asked. And the first thing they asked was start with some solid advice on how to be a solid second lieutenant. I had to think back a few years on that one, I gotta admit. But eventually a few things came to mind, starting with what the founder of Microsoft, Bill Gates' dad, said, and that is to show up and be present. And he even wrote a book about that you might want to check out. And there have been plenty of times, believe me, when I would have preferred to rest and stay behind, though I forced myself to show up and be present. The next thing I thought about for this one is that you should volunteer for hard assignments. Sounds obvious, we all get that, but these are really the assignments that when offered, your instinct is to wait and hope that somebody else volunteers first. But by doing so, you're going to learn to stretch yourself and gain new experiences. Finally, I thought about all the incredible opportunities you're all going to be offered as you embark on your Air Force careers. And to that point, you're going to have an opportunity to take advantage of learning and opportunities, whether it's tuition assistance for your graduate degrees, whether it's on-base flying lessons. There's going to be so much for you to take advantage of. And I would encourage you just to jump in and start that right away. There's going to be an impulse to want to sit back, get comfortable in your assignment, but I would encourage you to get started on as much as you can to develop yourself right from the go. The next thing they asked was that I share some of the mistakes I made as a junior officer. How much time do we have? Okay. So one came to mind for me immediately, and that was when I was a second lieutenant working in airborne battle management. You heard about that. That was my first assignment. And we had this cantankerous tech sergeant who was the security manager for the unit. And in this office, we had a control system that controlled all the top secret documents that we created. There was a register, so you'd get this top secret control number that you'd have to sign to your document. The document went in the safe. Then we'd have inventories of the documents against that control register. So one day during an inspection, one of the documents came up missing. The discipline for losing a top secret document in this system is that you had to give a security briefing to the unit on the registry system and its importance. And of course, that crusty tech sergeant enjoyed watching me give that briefing because I had lost the document. I didn't really lose it. So later in the year, we moved the office and we took apart all the safes drawer by drawer. Lo and behold, guess what's stuck behind one of the drawers? There's my document. So it sucked at the time, but now it's just a funny story. So we got that. Finally, they asked me to share how I've been able to balance work and life and suggestions that I have for them. And the short answer to that is you all have more energy now than you're ever going to have again. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. But I'm happy to talk with you about it when you get old like me. We can talk about work-life balance. So as you all prepare to embark on this next chapter in your lives, some of your families are going to be nervous about this new life you have ahead of you, and that's only natural. It was the same for some of my family, especially my father's sister, who was like a second mom to me. My advice is for the families to rest assured that whatever brought your son, daughter, loved one to seek out their role to serve our nation will carry them through to this next stage. Trust in their training will help them to continue to make wise decisions and help them to navigate what's ahead. So to these future Air Force leaders, I'd like to take a moment to share some thoughts on leadership and inspiration. Each of you are going to serve under some good leaders. Some of you may be lucky enough to serve under some truly great leaders. And unfortunately, some of you will serve under some not so great ones. But I would offer is that each of them can inspire you, even the not so great ones. That group will inspire you to be better than them. And when you get the chance to lead at their level, you'll take that mindset. So when things aren't great, think about how you do things differently. Looking back, that made the difference in my career, as it motivated me to stick it out and be a better leader than I could have been. Speaking of looking back, sitting here in May of 1991, there are things I would have never imagined that I would get to do in my Air Force career. For starters, have the director of the National Security Agency promote me to two-star general, and then preside over my retirement ceremony 3 years later at the NSA. Oh, and get to drink beer at the quarters of the director of the NSA. That was pretty cool. Get to meet and brief some members of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Oh, and drink beer at the quarters of one of the members of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, National Guard Bureau Chief. Get to meet and take a picture with a future president of the United States in Afghanistan, and that was Barack Obama. Support the launch and operations of some of our nation's most critical space systems as a lieutenant that are still on orbit today. So each of you will have opportunities to create your own stories and experiences just like these. But just remember, it's absolutely not a sprint, it's a marathon. But looking back on my 32 years of service, I gotta say it's gone by in an instant. So it was more like a 100-meter dash, actually. So as we celebrate this moment of achievement, I'd like to remind these soon-to-be Air Force officers that with this great honor comes great responsibility. The men and women of the Air Force are entrusted with the solemn duty of defending our nation and upholding the principles of freedom. This is a duty that requires not only courage and skill, but also wisdom, compassion, and integrity. Each of these officers will be called upon to adapt rapidly to evolving threats, to innovate in the face of diversity, and to lead with courage and conviction. So as you prepare to embark on your careers as leaders in the United States Air Force, I'd ask you to keep in mind the words of General Eisenhower, that leadership is the art of getting someone else to do something you want done, but because they want to do it. In closing, let me offer my heartfelt congratulations to the graduating cadets of the University of Miami Detachment 155, the Hurricane Aces. May you go forth from this place with pride, with purpose, and with a deep sense of duty to the ideals that make our nation great. Always remember that you are something larger than yourselves. Congratulations to these fine new second lieutenants and your families, and may God bless each of you. Thank you.
Thank you, General Jeffries. At this time, Detachment 155 Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Purnell Adams, will give her remarks. Lieutenant Colonel Regina Purnell Adams is the Professor of Aerospace Studies and Commander of AFROTC Detachment 155 at the University of Miami, where she directs a 4-year program leading graduates to commission as second lieutenants in the Air Force or Space Force. Commissioned through ROTC in 2005 after graduating from the University of Mississippi, she has over 18 years of experience ranging from Air Force intelligence to headquarters level program element monitor.
All right, let's start out by giving Major General Jeffries another round of applause. Thank you. Dear parents, soon-to-be second lieutenants, distinguished guests, colleagues, and friends, today we gather here to celebrate the remarkable achievements of our 2024 commissioning class. I am filled with a profound sense of pride and admiration. I have personally witnessed their growth, commitment to excellence, and passion to serve our great nation. The young men and women that you will see and hear from in just a moment have demonstrated immense dedication, perseverance, and leadership. However, they would not be here today if it weren't for their parents, guardians, and loved ones. When I say loved ones, I mean abuelas, abuelos, aunties, uncles, anyone who has poured love and wisdom into our honorees to make them who they are today. I would like to say thank you for all of your hard work, support, and sacrifices. And thank you for entrusting me and my staff to guide them throughout their officer training process. To our commissionees, I offer my heartfelt congratulations. You are now done with cadet feedback, physical training at intramural fields, leadership labs at the Learning Center, and our amazing DET potlucks. May you forever hold these experiences close to your heart, as you will forever be a DET 155 Hurricane Ace. At the beginning of this academic year, as you all approached your final chapter of Air Force ROTC, I asked if you accept the challenge. You did, and successfully completed all requirements as a student and as a cadet. Today, you will join the ranks of officers, specifically as second lieutenants. Do you accept the challenge?
Challenge accepted.
Awesome, that's what I like to hear. All right, so let's get started. Let's administer the oath of office and put on your butter bars. May your Air Force journey be filled with joy, fulfillment, and endless possibilities. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Purnell Adams. Cadet Geronimo Anzola. Cadet Geronimo Anzola will graduate from Florida International University with a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering with a minor in Aerospace Studies. Geronimo is a prior tactical aircraft maintainer for the 482nd AMXS at Homestead Air Reserve Base in Florida. Upon commissioning, he will enter the United States Air Force as a fixed-wing pilot. Captain Jose Barreto will be administering the oath of office. Captain Jose Barreto currently supports the Joint Logistics Staff at J43 US Southcom as an individual mobilization augmentee in Miami. Prior to this, he served as the Director of Operations for the 407th Logistics Readiness Squadron at Tinker Air Refueling Base, leading over 120 personnel. Captain Barreto received his commission from Officer Training School in 2015 and later earned an MBA from Harvard Business School in 2020. He has held various logistics roles, including Flight Commander, Operations Officer, Interim Squadron Commander, and Joint Staff Logistician.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Jeronimo Anzola,
having been appointed to a rank of second lieutenant,
having been appointed a rank of second lieutenant,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
both foreign and domestic,
both foreign and domestic,
that I bear true faith
that I bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
that I take this responsibility
that I take this responsibility
freely
freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will and willfully
that I will and willfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Second Lieutenant Geronimo Anzol will now be pinned by his mother Marciela and his sisters Valentina, Alejandra, and goddaughter MJ. Second Lieutenant Geronimo Anzola has the honor of receiving his first salute from Technical Sergeant Jacqueline A. Jones. Technical Sergeant Jacqueline A. Jones is the NCOIC of the Personnel Section at Air Force ROTC Detachment 155, University of Miami. After enlisting in 2006 and serving at Keesler Air Force Base and Kunsan Air Base, she was assigned to Aviano Air Base, Italy as the NCOIC of Career Development and Force Management, including a deployment and subsequent deployments to Spengler Air Base, Germany, back to Aviano with the 606 ACS, and then to Naval Air Station Pensacola, where she served as a section chief for the Group Commander Support Staff, overseeing 7 support staffs and providing personnel resource management for over 3,200 personnel. The new lieutenant will use this time to say a few words.
Awesome. So, good morning, Major General Jeffrey, distinguished guests. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, family, and friends. I stand here today with a deep sense of gratitude and joy. It truly feels like a dream. Our achievement today is not the result of a single day act. It is a culmination of hard work, dedication, and consistency. I am here today proud not only of my fellow class, commissioning class of 2024, but of every single one of you that have made part of this achievement. This was not a solo journey. It was a path illuminated by the kindness, support, and encouragement of many remarkable people who have made this day possible. For that reason, I want to say thank you to my family and friends. Your unwavering belief in me and your endless patience have been my anchor. To my mom, who always told me that I could do anything I set my mind to. And my dad, that even though he's not here today, he will always be by my side. I must also say thank you to my mentors, Jose, and all cadre members. Your guidance and wisdom were invaluable. You challenged me to push beyond my limits and be a better version of myself. In conclusion, this achievement is not mine alone. It is a testament to the collective effort of every single one of you that have made this day possible. Thank you.
Congratulations, Second Lieutenant Geronimo Anzola. You will now be commissioning the next Det 155 cadet. Cadet Elia Deville Morales. Cadet Elia Deville Morales will graduate from Florida International University with a Bachelor of Arts in Anthropology with a minor in Aerospace Studies. Upon commissioning, she will enter the United States Air Force as a Logistics Readiness Officer. Second Lieutenant Christopher Castillo will be administering the oath of office. Second Lieutenant Christopher Castillo is a specialized undergraduate pilot training student at the 14th Student Squadron, Columbus Air Force Base, Mississippi. Lieutenant Castillo enlisted in the Air Force in 2015 as an electrical and environmental systems specialist, completing his aircraft maintenance training in 2016 as the top graduate. He served 6 years in the Air Force Reserves, supporting the 42nd Fighter Wing as an NCOIC during various operations. Lieutenant Castillo earned his commission in 2022 as a distinguished graduate from Air Force Attachment, Air Force ROTC Detachment 155, and was assigned to the 14th Medical Group, where he was instrumental in implementing Q Anywhere systems to enhance pharmacy accessibility.
Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Elia Davila Morales,
Having been appointed as Second Lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
having been appointed as Second Lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter.
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Second Lieutenant Davila Morales will now be pinned by her mother, Ilona, her father, Ronaldo, and her brother, Isaac. Second Lieutenant Davila Morales has the honor of receiving her first salute from Technical Sergeant Jacqueline A. Jones. new lieutenant will use this time to say a few words. That is if she wants.
Thanks. Good morning. Can you guys all hear me? Yeah, okay. It's not going to be as fancy as Geronimo's speech, but okay, I wrote this out, otherwise I'd ramble. So these past 4 years have come and go. I remember going to the past 2 commissioning ceremonies when Second Lieutenant Castillo commissioned, and I remember being in that spot, wondering how that moment would feel like, and wondering if I'd ever get there. And did it. I want to thank God, obviously, for getting us to this moment. To all my peers in my class. Oh my God. Sorry. To all my peers and classmates, it's been a great ride. To all the GMC and everybody in the crowd that I've worked alongside with, it's been an honor. I want to thank all my mentors, Al Cadre, for guiding me the past 4 years, past and present. To all of my closest friends that I've grown up with, that have been cheering me on and watching me get to this moment. It means a lot. And then, obviously, I want to thank my parents for, I'm going to say this part in Spanish because my dad doesn't speak English, but, thank you, ma'am. Papá, mamá, les quiero dar muchísimas gracias por todos los sacrificios que han hecho por mí, por Isaac, solo para que saliéramos adelante. Yo no estaría aquí sin ustedes, y esta victoria es de ustedes también. Sí. Thank you, everybody.
Congratulations, ma'am. You will now be commissioning the next Detachment 155 cadet. Cadet Zachary Rivera. Cadet Zachary Rivera will graduate from Florida National University with a Bachelor of Arts in Computer Science. Upon commissioning, he will enter the United States Air Force as a cybersecurity officer. Major Ricardo Cisneros will be administering the oath of office. Major Ricardo Cisneros is the recruiting flight commander for Air Force ROTC Detachment 155 at the University of Miami, responsible for recruiting and retention activities across affiliated universities in the Miami area. Major Cisneros received his commission from Officer Training School in 2012 after serving 12 years as an enlisted airman in a 23-year Air Force career. He is deployed in support of Operations Iraqi Freedom and Enduring Freedom to locations including Camp Sather, Karuk, Al-Dafra, and Al-Duwaid.
I state your full name.
I, Zachary Rivera,
Have been appointed a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force.
having been appointed a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic.
foreign and domestic,
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
That I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion,
And that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office
of the office
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Second Lieutenant Zachary Rivera will now be pinned by his wife Samantha, mother Nancy, and his father Fabricio. Second Lieutenant Zachary Rivera has the honor of receiving his first salute from retired Lance Corporal Eduardo de la Vega. Retired Lance Corporal de la Vega was born and raised in Miami, Florida. He earned his black belt in Kenpo Karate in high school and served as a Lance Corporal in the United States Marine Corps. As an infantryman stationed at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, in the 2nd Light Armored Reconnaissance Battalion, 2nd Marine Division. After his military service, he returned to Miami and began working for Miami-Dade County, where he has been employed for 21 years. Eduardo has also continued to teach Kenpo Karate for 30 years.
Pose.
The new lieutenant will use this time to say a few words.
I want to thank everybody for coming out today. I want to thank my parents, my cadre, my mentors, and especially my fellow classmates. These past 4 years have been a rigorous 4 years, a lengthy 4 years, and I'm glad to have spent it with all of you. Thank you.
Cadet Austin Romanov. Cadet Austin Romanov will graduate cum laude from Florida Atlantic University with a Bachelor of Business Administration and Management. Austin is a prior electrical systems journeyman stationed at Ellison Air Force Base, Alaska, and Osan Air Base, Korea. Upon commissioning, he will enter the United States Air Force as a finance officer. Major Ricardo Cisneros will be administering the oath of office.
Air Force.
Having been appointed as Second Lieutenant in the United States Air Force.
Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation.
Without any mental reservation.
Or purpose of evasion.
Or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully.
And that I will well and faithfully.
Discharge the duties.
Discharge the duties.
Of the office.
Of the office.
Upon which I'm about to enter.
Upon which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God. Thank you.
Second Lieutenant Austin Romanov will now be pinned by his wife Megan, father Scott, mother Colleen, and stepfather Scott. Second Lieutenant Austin Romanov has the honor of receiving his first salute from his uncle, retired Senior Master Sergeant Eric Romanov. Retired Senior Master Sergeant Eric Romanov entered the United States Air Force in November of 1983 as a material management specialist. Senior Master Sergeant Romanov had 4 assignments throughout his 20 years of service and countless TDYs. Senior Master Sergeant Romanov dedicated a large sum of his efforts during service to the Air Force's Big Safari program, which is responsible for the sustainment, management, and logistics of special mission aircraft. Since his retirement in 2004, Sergeant Romanov has remained an integral part of the Big Safari program as a supply chain manager for L3 Harris Technologies in Waco, Texas. The new lieutenant would like to say a few words.
Oh boy. Okay. As with the last 3 years of ROTC, zero preparation coming into this. First, I just want to start with thanking my beautiful wife, Megan. She's been absolutely crucial in getting me through these 3 years and keeping my head on straight and making sure I'm where I need to be when I need to be there. I'd love to thank my parents, my mom, Colleen, my dad, Scott, and my stepdad, Scott. I mean, you guys have been just absolutely everything in my world. For my stepdad, you raised me to be this person that you see before you today. And every bit of the man and the integrity that I have as a human is due to the morals that you put in me as a kid. Also like to thank the rest of my family that's attending, my younger brother, my mother-in-law, everybody else. Thank you so much, aunts and uncles. I have a huge group of people here. And lastly, my best friend who's seen me through thick and thin, managed to show up late this morning, but all is forgiven. Thank you, everybody, for being here. All your support means the world to all of us up here. And to my classmates, thank you for just helping me not lose it on a lot of people through these 3 years. Thank you so much.
Cadet Pedro Santiago. Cadet Pedro Santiago will graduate from Florida International University with a Bachelor of Science in Hospitality with a minor in Aerospace Studies. Upon commissioning, he will enter the United States Air Force as a Security Forces Officer. Retired Colonel Luisa Santiago will be administering the oath of office. Retired Colonel Luisa Santiago's military career spanned over 3 decades, initially serving 2 years as an enlisted soldier before being commissioned as a quartermaster officer in 1991. As an Army JAG, Colonel Santiago held leadership positions as supervising attorney, command legal advisor, and senior legal advisor with overseas assignments. She was selected for key assignments at the NSA, JSOC, SOCOM, Fort Leavenworth, and the Pentagon. Colonel Santiago's distinguished service earned her numerous awards, including Legion of Merit, Bronze Star, and multiple Meritorious Service and Commendation Medals.
I state your full name.
I, Pedro Luis Santiago,
Having been appointed in the rank of Second Lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
having been appointed in the rank of Second Lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Second Lieutenant Pedro Santiago will now be pinned by his father Jose and mother, Maria. Second Lieutenant Pedro Santiago has the honor of receiving his first salute from Technical Sergeant Jacqueline A. Jones.
Post.
The new lieutenant uses time to say a few words.
Too short for this mic. All right. Good? Okay. Also going off the top of my brain, not as good as him though, I'll tell you that much. But I just wanted to say thanks to everybody that supported me through this journey, particularly my family. I want to thank my grandparents for actually making it out. It's not a struggle, but it's a little tough to get you guys out here sometimes. Continually, I want to thank my parents, my siblings. Thank you for putting up for the 7 alarms that I put at 4:30 in the morning to roll out of bed. I want to thank my girlfriend for staying with this journey for about 3 years now, although I was going to celebrate 3 year. And then my cadre, more particularly this specific cadre, not the one I started with. I've grown a lot. I've grown a lot through, I want to say, the last year and a half, through everything I've learned between all of you. Through the prior enlisted experience from Mission Narrows, through the operational experience from Major Blanco, and then the leadership values that Lieutenant Colonel BA. But I will want to say thanks to my NCOs. You guys have helped me a lot through the journey, through the medical, through all the leadership values and through showing me patience with others. I'm going to be entering a career field without an enlisted folk. Although it did say security forces, it says FSS up there. Sorry. Not that right. And I'm glad to take the skills that I've learned from all of you into this career field. Lastly, I want to thank my graduating class. Right. Now, Lieutenant Anzola, you pushed me through my FTP. You're technically the old man of the group besides Lieutenant Romanov. With Lieutenant Rivera, Lieutenant de Villa Morales, and in about 30 seconds, soon to be the rest of the lieutenants, right? You guys showed me a lot of patience through operational experience. Not operational, through the drills that we do on a day-to-day basis. Working with you guys was a pleasure. Thank you all for coming. Thank you to my friends, my family, again, cadre, and my commissioning class. Thank you.
Move the microphone all the way back up. I can't help it. Congratulations, sir. We'll be commissioning the next cadet. Cadet Benjamin Tendai Wilson. Cadet Tendai Wilson will graduate magna cum laude from Florida International University with a Bachelor of Science in Information Technology with a minor in Aerospace Studies, as well as a certificate in Asian Studies and Latin Globalization. Tendai is a prior tactical aircraft maintainer at the 482nd AMXS at Homestead Air Reserve Base, Florida. Upon commissioning, he will enter the United States Air Force as a helicopter pilot. Colonel Joshua G. Paget will be administering the oath of office. Colonel Joshua G. Paget is the commander of the 42nd Fighter Wing at Homestead Air Reserve Base, Florida. He oversees the management of the installation, including the squadron of 28 F-16CD aircraft and over 2,300 personnel. Colonel Paget ensures seamless integration with 1110 units and a geographically separated detachment. A distinguished ROTC graduate and United States Air Force Weapons School graduate, he is a command pilot with over 3,400 hours in F-16 and has participated in multiple combat deployments.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Benjamin Tendai Wilson,
Having been appointed a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
having been appointed a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, brother.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it.
Second Lieutenant Tendai Wilson will now be pinned by his mother, Sarazai, and father, Rudolph. Oh, and friend Abigail. Second Lieutenant Tendai Wilson has the honor of receiving his first salute from his brother, Midshipman First Class Joshua Denai Wilson. Midshipman First Class Wilson is a member of 7th Company at the Naval Academy, hailing from Miami, Florida. He is pursuing an ocean engineering major with a Japanese minor. Midshipman First Class Wilson holds several leadership roles, including Assistant Squad Leader, Shape Peer Educator, and is a STAMP Scholar. As a Marine Air Contract, he is interested in flying CH-53s or KC-130s. He is conducting capstone research on coastal erosion and flood mitigation in Ghana, as well as independent research on using mangroves for coastal flood mitigation. The new lieutenant uses time to say a few words.
Both of us have been told that we have some pretty good bass in our voice, so I'm going to utilize the acoustics of this auditorium and just not use the mic. But all in all, both me and my brother, he'll be commissioning next week, so we have our friends and family here. The Bible says that it takes a village to raise up a child and an individual, and we invited our village out. So from our high school, everybody from Northwest Christian Academy that's here, and 42nd Fighter Wing, and family, friends. We just want to say thank you, and all in all, we want to say glory to God for allowing us to make it this far and allowing us to represent our lineage and pave the way for the future. I'm going to double tap off of him really quickly. So it does take a village to raise a child. I pulled up the Bible verse while I was sitting down. It's Joshua 24:15 that talks about, me and my house, we will serve the Lord. So first and foremost, thank you so much, Pastor Chase, Mr. McLaughlin, Ms. Fox, Mr. Reed, Mr. Nelson, everybody who's here from NCA family, Mom and Dad, thank you so much for everything you've done, and our close friends and family. This journey has been hard for the both of us, and the Bible also talks about that things happen for a reason, and we've made it this far. John 16:33 says, "This world is going to be hard. There will be challenges in this world, but take heart. For I've already overcome the world." So it might come to a surprise, but as you guys can tell, he's the extrovert out of us too, so he's a better speaker. But this is an opportunity not to give us glory, primarily give God glory and give gratitude to those who brought us here. So Cadre, thank you so much. Ms. Burns, thank you so much for everything that you guys have done in the journey. And to the class, you guys are great. We made it through this journey. And all in all, we only have one, well, I'm supposed to have 1 minute for the speech, but we're going to cut it here. That's it.
Congratulations, sir. Cadet Yanet Yanes. Cadet Yanet Yanes will graduate summa cum laude from Florida International University with a Bachelor of Science and Master's in Health Services Administration. Upon commissioning, she'll enter the United States Air Force as a Logistics Readiness Officer. Major Blanco Coca will be administering the oath of office. Major Pamela Blanco Coca is an Assistant Professor of Aerospace Studies and Operations Flight Commander for Air Force ROTC Detachment 155 at the University of Miami. Major Blanco Coca was commissioned as a second lieutenant in 2013 after completing ROTC as a distinguished graduate. She has served in various nuclear community assignments, including operations, training, flight command, and assistant director of operations. Major Blanco Coca is a graduate of the Weapons Instructor Course and Inter-American Squadron Officer School.
I state your full name. I, Yanet Yanes, having been appointed a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
that
I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same,
that I take this obligation freely from any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office I'm about to enter. So help me God. Thank you.
Second Lieutenant Yanis will now be pinned by her mother, Daili, and her father, Pedro. Second Lieutenant Yanis has the honor of receiving her first salute from Technical Sergeant Jacqueline A. Jones.
Post.
Lieutenant Yanis will use this time to say a few words.
Yeah, not that tall either. Kreitzer, sorry. Well, hopefully I don't cry, but I got tissues in my pocket, so we'll see. First of all, I want to start off by saying thank you to God, because without Him, I wouldn't have made it this far. And excuse me if I flip-flop between English and Spanish for my family members. I want to thank them for being here with me for this long journey, especially my mother. She wakes up every day with me at 4 in the morning to wish me luck for my day, and that means the world to me. Le quiero dar gracias a mi familia por estar aquí conmigo en este pasaje muy largo, y especialmente a mi madre, que se levanta todos los días a las 4 de la mañana conmigo para estar conmigo, y eso lo agradezco mucho. I want to thank everyone here for, just supporting me, whether it be staff, friends, cadets, family members, all being present in this moment. Past mentors like Lieutenant Colonel Gammon, thank you for coming out. And the current cadre now, without them, it wouldn't have been possible. The NCOs, always backing me up with a lot of paperwork as well. A lot of medical and, just issues that always happen, and they're always here supporting me. Miss Burns always giving me that sunshine, that smile every morning that gets me through when I walk into the detachment. And Major Cisneros for pushing me, literally and figuratively. Always trying to, make me sharp as much as possible. And Major Blanco always being there, a new mentor that I'm so grateful of having, guiding me through the process. And, Lieutenant Colonel Pernell Adams always pushing that excellence, which I always had a fear of, not being boastful and being like in front of everybody and out there. But, she said that it's Yanis, you're humble is great, but you need to be out there, show your star power. And I'm very grateful that she gave that advice to me. And Tech Sergeant Jones being my first salute, she's been my rock, and she's always there listening to me, and that means the world. And my graduating class, especially Cadet Morales, my best friend, has gotten me through this process, and just all of them in general. We're a strong unit, and I know that the returning cadets, they will miss us greatly because we kick butt in the semester. But that's all I got to say. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming out, and it honestly has been an honor and a pleasure leading and just being a cadet in this detachment. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Congratulations. Cadet Keenan Zahid. Cadet Keenan Zahid will graduate from Florida International University with a Bachelor of Science in Biology with a minor in Aerospace Studies. Upon commissioning, he will enter the United States Space Force as a Space Force operator. Second Lieutenant Efren Seguenza will be administering the oath of office. Second Lieutenant Seguenza is a spring 2023 graduate of Detachment 155. He recently completed IFT in Pueblo, Colorado, in conjunction with ARPK Instrument Qualification Course at Joint Base San Antonio Randolph, Texas. He has been assigned to operate MQ-9 Reapers and will be stationed at Creech Air Force Base.
Post. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Keenan Zahid,
Having been appointed a Second Lieutenant in the United States Space Force,
having been appointed Second Lieutenant in the United States Space Force,
do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
Discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Second Lieutenant Keenan Zahid will now be pinned by his father Mashrook, his mother Lasali, and his uncle, Miami-Dade Police Major Patki Huntingachith. Second Lieutenant Keenan Zahid has the honor of receiving his first salute from Cadet Emilio Rodriguez. Cadet Rodriguez is from our very own Detachment 155 and studies political science at Florida Atlantic University. She hopes to commission as an intelligence officer next spring.
Post.
The lieutenant uses time to say a few words.
Oh man. It's been a long 8 years. For those who know me, this is going on 8 years as cadet. I didn't think I'd make it. Thank you to my family. I want to say one thing. Having been an academy kid, I had a family there. I left them. But coming back home, coming back to my family here, I found another family here in Det 155 with the cadre who have guided me so much. I found a family with my fellow commissioning lieutenants, and I want to thank everyone here for supporting me through this journey. It hasn't been easy. There's been, I'm putting it mildly, a lot of bumps in the road, but I wouldn't change anything for my life. And to my commissioned lieutenants, let's give them hell. I can't think of a better team to do this without you guys, you know. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, sir, and congratulations. Detachment 155 would like to present the Distinguished Graduate Award. The Distinguished Graduate Award is given to the top cadet in his or her commissioning class and may be placed in that lieutenant's permanent record as a mark of accomplishment for their time in ROTC. Lieutenant Colonel Pernell Adams will now be announcing this year's Distinguished Graduate.
We have an amazing group that sits before us today. Let's give them another round of applause. This year's decision was really, really tough, but based on academic performance and performance as a cadet throughout their full tenure in Air Force ROTC, this year's distinguished graduate is Second Lieutenant Yannick Yanez.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give one more huge round of applause for our commissioning class, please. I will now call Lieutenant Yanez and Cadet Wilson up to the podium for a special commendation.
So, you guys just take a seat really fast. Thank you guys once again for coming out. We want to call Cadet Flowers, McDowell, and Cadet Alenaris Oversea up to the stage. Yes. So they're going to get mad at us again because we're going off script and they like things to say to the script. However, we couldn't add this because we want to recognize these two individuals for planning this amazing commissioning ceremony. This could not happen today if it wasn't for these two countless hours of hard work past ROTC, past school. They could have been taking their break right now, but they are here making sure everything flows.
And I want to add that they were the 2 flight commanders that we had in the spring, and I couldn't think of anyone else that could have taken up the job this semester. They did a phenomenal job, and they really left their fingerprint, a good one, to the 100s now becoming 200s. And you know, thinking about who's going to lead certain things like commissioning class, I was like, they have a full plate, but we'll put a little extra more at the end. So, you know, we want to congratulate them and give them this honor for their hard work, not only for the commissioning, but throughout the semester. So, good job, guys.
So, on behalf of the class, this is our first coining individuals.
Yes.
Back on script. All right. Please rise as our newest lieutenants lead us in singing the first verse of the Air Force song and Space Force song. The new lieutenants will now exit the stage. At this time, all oath administrators, please follow the new lieutenants to the lobby. Except the cadre, you all stay. Please remain standing while the color guard retrieves the colors. Color guard, retrieve the colors.
Post turn. Arch.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the departure of the official party. This concludes our Spring 2024 commissioning ceremony. On behalf of our new second lieutenants and attachment staff, thank you for attending.